Hi everybody, I'm Pastor Bill and this is Fixing Things. This is a shifter tube for a Ford truck. And these things are famous for braking. Almost messed it up already. So the things are just made out of like cheap pot metal. There's not much to them. And they just break for no strange reason. You shift it too hard one time and there it goes. It's broken. Now you're stuck in whatever gear it was in. I'm just happened to be lucky that I was in neutral when it went. And I could still move the truck around and it still starts. So today and part of tomorrow, because I'm running low in light, we just got done pouring the footers and I was pretty dehydrated. So it's good to have some water in you. And now I'm feeling a lot better now, so I figured maybe I'll come out here and we'll get this video started and we'll get a good start on this thing tonight. Maybe I'll get it in. Who knows? Maybe I won't. Ford should have came up with a better idea. All right, the first few things we got to get going is there's this little panel right here. That's got to come out. And there's a cover that goes around the steering column. That's got to come off. And it's just a few screws holding that and the thumb screws holding this on. So let me get going on that. All right, let's take the under the dash thing out. Like I said, you just get it. There we go. Slide that out of the way. Something fell out on the ground. It was up underneath there. Cover to my fuse panel. So there's some screws here, and my column thingy is right here. And that, you got to take that off. You just unscrew it. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Because if you don't get that off, you can't get the rest of it off. I mean, it ain't much. It's got like plastic threads on it, on a metal thing. I gotta go get a screwdriver. I thought my drill would work. All right, now that I got a screwdriver, it's making a noise because it's out of adjustment. It thinks the key is on, and it was making it before too, and that was one of the reasons why it was jacked up. So forgive me with the, all right, here we go. It's been about a year, so I got to remember how all this stuff went. I put the last one in a 7-Eleven parking lot with barely any tools. My son, I called him up and I said, Billy, I'm stranded. Stop. I said, Billy, I'm stranded. He goes, where are you at? I said, I'm at the 7-Eleven and my shifter broke. He knew exactly what it was. And I called the auto parts store and they had it ready for him. And right there at the 7-Eleven, we put that piece in there. Will you please Stop. Thank you. Probably gonna beep any second. 2 screws out. I don't think that's supposed to be broken. I don't even know what that is. That's my beeper thinger. Exactly what that is. We're going to eliminate the beeper thingy. It's not going back on. All right. Got a flashlight now, I can see. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the ignition switch out. And it's fairly simple on these f350s and stuff like that. There's actually underneath, there's this little pin. You can actually do it with the cover on, but since we have to take the cover off to get to the shifter tube, and you just push in on this little thingamajig, and just like that, maybe. I don't know what's going on. Oh, whoops! There's that blinker thingy again. Supposed to just come right out. I can't even get the key out of it. It's supposed to be real easy. There we go. Now my fuel pump and everything is running. Maybe I need to unplug the battery. All right, I got the battery undone now. And now that we got the ignition switch out, we should be able to get this top cover off of it. Now we gotta go back to the down position. And then that comes off. Easy peasy, cheesy wheezy. I mean, this thing just flops all over the place. It got its own mind. And then it's just a pin. I don't know if you can see or not. But I'm going to attempt to take the pin out with a pair of channel locks. Pin goes in from the top. There's the pin. Throw this on the floor, and the gear shifter should come out. I'm just going to hang that right up there. It's got the overdrive thingamajiggy on it. I see right where it's broken. Wow. All right, now I think we got to go and I think we got to loosen the steering column up now. Drop it down. Let me see here. It's the purple size. Oop, wrong way, I'm tightening it. I didn't have my tongue right. The reason you got to take the battery off is you could accidentally start the truck. And not only that, when this thing is not engaged, when the key is in the on position, it's trying to heat the glow plugs up. And it burns a lot of juice, and it'll run the batteries dead in no time. Now the old man's got to get on his back, get the sharp objects from underneath the backage. This is for young people's eyes. Oh, get up there, piece of garbage. Stay. This flashlight. Why won't you stay there? For the love of God. Alright. Of course, now it's going to be in the way of my hand. Now it's shining in my eyes. I'll put it on my head. That'll hold it. I'm just glad I got that pinger thing. Man, that's been bugging me forever. On this side of the little lever is got your little cable that runs your moves your little speedometer thing. It's just like a little, looks like a piece of thread. So you got to take that off. You got to remember not to lose it. And that's now unconnected. All right, where's my half-inch socket? I hope you're getting all this. Because there's one thing I hate is working in the dashboards. Because my old back doesn't like this stuff. And I don't think you have to take this one off. You just gotta loosen it quite a bit. See, it's already fallen. Oh my goodness. This flashlight is, I mean, goodness gracious. Loosen the side up a little more. Oh, my poor back. Of course, the steering wheel's right. Now I can get my whole hand up in here. All right. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the same size on the tube. We almost got it completely out now. Yep, same size. Clines. When something is stuck, you have to use your clines. Everything breaks loose when you put your clines on it. Not linesman pliers for all you non-electricians. Clines. You're not an electrician unless you have clines. You have to have clines tools to be an electrician. One clampo. Come on, baby. My son must have tightened that up because I'm not even strong enough to do that. Ugh. Come on, baby, get down in there. Just had to get some leverage going on there. Running out of daylight. And we just about got it. Second clampo. Extra parts. So there's another clampage that actually does nothing, but it has a little stud thingy on it in the end of it that stops the shifter from moving any further. I think I had my little socket set with my Torx on it. I don't know where it's at, and I don't feel like finding it. The good thing is all these screws are the same size. All right, that little bracket goes over top of the other bracket. This should come out now. There it is. Shoot, that piece was falling out anyways. key is to not lose the spring on the end of it. Now we just got to start reassembling it. All right, this is getting tedious. All right, let me show you what's going on in here. So, the two clamps, of course this flashlight's not going to stay for you. There's one right here. Maybe I can hold the camera with my tongue. All right. Oh, goodness. So there's one right here and one right there. And it doesn't really hold nothing, but there's a nub that comes up and stops the shifter linkage when this thing rotates. So other than that, it doesn't do anything. It's a pretty hefty bracket though. My wife is saying it's time to eat, so we're going in. I will see you in the morning. All right, it's the next day and it's drizzling outside. So I want to get as much stuff done before it starts raining. I want to get this truck back on the road because I need it. This is the truck I drive. I mean, I want to make my U-Haul truck a daily driver also. I do have the Nissan. I'm not particularly fond of the Nissan, but it's a good little truck. It just doesn't haul anything. It's not big enough. It's got a little dinky bed. So let's get this tube put back in. I got the tube. It's actually back in the dashboard. All right, so we're going to tighten up the far bracket that goes over, that does the stopping. I got to tighten that up. I broke down and got my ratchets junk out. So it's got these two brackets that clamp down over top of it. They're exactly the same. Everything works better when you got a little lube on it. Plus it makes these bolts come apart easier the next time you got to work on it. because your bolts are steel, and the thing you're bolting into is aluminum, and those two metals don't like each other. They have a reaction. Not too tight. Put the shifter linkage back in. Which way does that thing go? That goes under. Send it home with the Kleins. Let's put this thing back on. The old dust shield from hell. Of course, I'm putting it on backwards. There we go. You know, I think I'm going to go inside and get some pants on. It's getting kind of chilly on my legs here. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So, got my pants on. It's much better. Even put my jacket on. On the back of the piece that we put in, there's these bolts there, and what they do is they go around this little ring, and there's a little bit of play in it. And so what it is, you can a little bit adjust where the lever sits from that. And you need to put a little bit of Loctite on it, because it should have had like 3 bolts in it, but they only put 2 bolts in it. So you put a little bit of Loctite, medium grade Loctite on it, and that keeps them from loosening up. But it doesn't get them so tight that you strip everything out trying to get it out the next time. Better be safe than sorry. So there's a little nub that goes in a hole. You got to get that piece lined up. All right. The truck would actually start right now, but it will not shift right now because I got to get the lever on the back put in, and that's where the Loctite comes in play. So I'm gonna try to show you some pictures and post them in here of those things. Probably in this little blank spot of me trying to crawl back down underneath there. And I'm probably gonna have to fight with the flashlight too. Hopefully I don't put the Loctite in my eyeball. Ugh. I had it. It's not easy. You can only get one hand on it. You get the spring pushing against you. All right, I got the one threaded. That'll give me some spinach. Not spinach, but spinach. Not like Popeye spinach, but spin on the junkage. All right, let's put a little bit more blue Loctite on there. And put it up here so I don't get it all over my back. All right, I'm going back down. Grab my ratchet. I'm going to take the other one out and put some blue Loctite in that one also. All right, going back down. So this is what I'm using to put it on. I get it up into it and then turn it. It's in a spot where you can't really get your fingers on it. I took it off with an Allen wrench. I gotta get my arm behind the brake pedal, go up between the steering column linkage stuff. And it's just soft aluminum, so you don't want to over tighten it. Snuggy duggy the other one again. And there's this little piece of thread thingy that controls the movement of your selector thingy. I gotta get, and that thing has got to be put back on, and I think I got to get this into, I got to push the brake, I think. get the 1/2-inch socket back down here and tighten up the back of the steering column. I thought I lost one of the screws out there on the other side, but and there's only 3 screws that holds it up. I got them. Remember, you got to take out this piece to get this piece on. Get one screw started, hold it in place. Last screw. Then we'll put the steering column adjustment knob thingy back on. Now put this thing back in. This is a little detent button that holds it in place. All right, so you got a better view now. So this thing has got to go in that hole. The detent button goes downward. You know, I ought to put a little bit of lube on there. All right, I put a little bit of grease here and then packed a little bit in there. Then sprayed a little bit of penetrating oil into the part where it all slips together, and just to kind of make it do a little better. It feels better. It was feeling kind of dry. I mean, I didn't notice it before. I believe the key has to be in position for this thing to work. I don't know. I got the key in it anyways. So you got to slide the groove right here. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. There's a groove on the bottom where the detent goes in. If you look down in there, you can see the hole. All right, now I should be able to get this thing into park. And the key should come out. All right, let's get the rest of this thing back together. Wide angle. All right. So far, so good. The battery's hooked back up. Wait to start. Move my seat forward here so I can reach the brake. Reverse, neutral, drive, park. Oh yeah. And the key comes out. Put that right in my pocket. This thing doesn't operate the camera, but sure does get me from one place to another pretty fast. All right, this is what we remove. This is the shifter tube. And it sits right on top of the steering column. Um, it's tedious. It's not hard. It is tedious. And if you follow the directions that I gave you on doing this, you can do it. The part that was, except for the piece sliding out. 1 second. Put this thing back together. All right, so these are on the bottom, and the shifting cable bracket hooks to this thing, and it's got an arm on it that goes out, and it has a lot of tension on it, and so the screw holes here get loose. So the trick is to put Loctite on these things. It's a lot of tension, and you can see where it breaks is right there. It's a weak spot. It's just a bad design. And this thing is trying to twist and turn the shifter, and it breaks right there. And there's a hole here on one side, and they kind of put a thick piece there. I don't know if that's to counteract it or what, but it's just the weak link. And it's just a bad design. And so the spring goes right up into that hole. So that's the part you got to make sure you don't drop that spring, because that spring is what gives you that lever action that pulls it back. So if you didn't have that spring in there, it would just flop. And the bracket that you bolt on there has that, it bolts up against that. You know, they could have put that spring on the inside somewhere and made it so you just slid it together and it was done. But no, they want to make sure that the spring goes on there so that it's fighting you trying to get these two screws on. So once you get one screw started, you torque it down just a little bit, and you got to move the selector till it lines up and gets in this piece here very well, right? And then once you get that screw torqued down to a certain point, not tight, you can get the other screw in there. But you go ahead and put your Loctite on that one now, right? Then when you get this one almost down tight, you take this one back off, put your Loctite on it, and then you can tighten them both up. And there is a little bit of play. You can adjust your positioning thing with your dash on that thing. If you notice your gear selector is not all the way in park, there's one of the holes is oblong, and you can turn that thing slightly, and believe it or not, it makes a difference. It's getting ready to rain. I got to get on working on my wife's motorcycle. Next weekend is Mother's Day. So if you like this video, please share it. Please press like. If you like these type of videos, we're going to be putting the fuel pump in the Blazer next week. We're going to be, the episode right after this one is going to be, there's a motorcycle right back there under cover. I don't know if you can see it. Right back there. And that's my wife's Fat Boy Low. And I slammed that thing to the ground. We dropped it. And because my wife, she's a shorty. I love my wife. But since she's short, she got short little arms. She's like me, got little arms like a Tyrannosaurus or something, you know, and just can't reach the handlebars without bending over. So we got her some risers that pull back to get her upright in the saddle. Because sports bikes are for younger people, and they like having backaches. But you know, when you get up in your 50s and stuff like that, man, you just want to cruise. You still want performance. You still want to be able to crack that throttle and go. But you don't want backaches. You shouldn't have to ride on your motorcycle and get a backache. If you got a backache on your motorcycle, you got a piece of junk. So remember this. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's a fact. All right, everybody. God bless each and every one of you. You can do these things yourself. It's not that hard. Like, subscribe, smash, pound, crack. Take your hammer, hit that button. Now, don't do that. All right. God bless. All right. See this thing?